Good morning, everybody. I am Freddy Rodriguez, and this is my personal reflection on 8R 5 step process. This morning, while sipping a good cup of Joe, I received the notification of 30% cuts in funding and staff. I knew immediately this is not going to be a simple fix. So, let me walk you through the process throughout this presentation. We know this is not a simple budget adjustment. A 30% reduction is a significant number that will impact the organization, it would impact the service, the quality, and it must definitely impact the people. I believe after the reduction, doing the same type of work, maintaining the same quality service, it's not sustainable. We might be able to accomplish a few months, maybe a year or two, but eventually doing the same amount of work with less people, less resources, it's just not something that is sustainable. The structure of the whole organization will have to change and shift into a different model. So, what's going to be our process to solve this problem? First of all, we got to define the objective. We got to define what success looked like. We got to collect as much information as possible. We got to develop options. We got to evaluate those options, make a smart decision, and then implement that decision. And after the decision is implemented, we must review and evaluate our process. When I first looked at 8Rs, adders, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, the 5 step, it really stood out to me how closely it mirrors the military and our decision making process as well. Same logic, different context, but that parallel gave me confidence because of the process I already understand and have experience with many times in the military. Before making any move, we gotta have one thing clear, and that's the objective. What success look like? Once we have defined that, we then move to the collecting data part. For this scenario, I would like to conduct internal audits to all 60 locations. I want to understand how much they cost, operations, productivity, and quality in all 60. I'm going to assume, and for the sake of this scenario, not all 60 locations are contributing equally, meaning not all producing the same. So I really want to understand those locations and their productivity and their numbers. So once we receive the data, I'm going to look into consolidate into regional hubs. Fewer locations, share resources, less duplication, meaning we're going to reduce the footprint of the organization. From there, we're going to evaluate and decide if this is a good option. We're going to weigh the pros and cons. How is this going to affect the organization basically in cost, service, and people? This is a big move, so we got to take into consideration all those factors. Once we weigh all our options, I would then make the call and implement and roll out the phases over 3 years, and then measure the results against our goal and objective defined at the beginning of this. I want to acknowledge that a cut of this size is not something you solve in one day or with a quick decision. This will require clear objective, honest data, real options, and practical, and discipline to measure your results along the way. But something that might not be mentioned in all this is the human factor. No matter how solid your process is, you're going to make mistakes, especially in a situation you have never faced before. The key is staying open to criticism, be willing to adjust, and documenting everything along the way. Lesson learns that we use often in the military are not just for you, they are for those who come after you as well. That's how the organization grows, even in difficult transitions. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoy it. Please don't hesitate if you have any questions or any comment, any feedback. I would definitely appreciate it. Again, thank you so much. Have a great day.